Welcome to the South African Max Challenge Round 2 at Laserfische Raceway Vereeniging in Gauteng.
First heat we've got Micro Max. On pole from qualifying is Mohammed Wali. Second Joshua Rapava, followed closely by Cape Tony and Reza Levy. Mohammed Wali been on pace at the regional, latest regionals, really showing that he's going to be dominant here this weekend.
After the disappointment of Idubi, you must be happy starting on pole here at round 2.
Yes, I only can thank God for making my engine so fast and helping me to win qualifying, and inshallah I'll win race 1, race 2 and race 3.
What is your strategy going to be in race 1?
Race 1 I'm going to lead it from the starting, try to lead it from the starting and try to get away inshallah.
You like Vereeniging, eh?
Yes.
So you think you can today walk away, get 3 wins back and get you back into the championship?
Yes, inshallah.
Josh, round 2, you dominated round 1. So tell me this weekend, what's your strategy?
My strategy is to have a good start and pull away from the pack as soon as possible.
Mohammed Wali is always quick at this circuit. Do you think you're going to struggle to get past him, or do you have a pace?
No, I have the pace.
After you absolutely decimated them at Idubi, how do you feel about your chances this weekend? Do you think it's going to be the same, or are they going to stay with you?
I feel like it's going to be the same.
And are you going to be able to manage that?
Yeah.
I'll try hard. My strategy is on the last lap. One corner I'll take him, defend in one of the straights. Eventually I'll win.
But is it good to leave it till the end of a race, or should one rather try and do something earlier in the race?
I don't know. I just think it's better to do it at the end of the race.
In the first round, Josh drove away from the rest of you. What do you think? How are you going to contain him this weekend?
We'll try to stick with him, me and Mohammed, and then we'll try to push him get away from the pack, and then we'll probably dice at one of the 5 more laps to go. Probably dice.
And the circuit here, do you like Vereeniging?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of tight corners. There's one long straight that's really nice.
We're heading into the start now for the Micro Max, their first heat here at Vereeniging Raceway, Laserfische Raceway. Joshua Rapava also been very quick at the recent regionals, and I expect these two to have a good humdinger battle up in front there. No longer stablemates. They've left their team. Joshua Rapava moving from Extreme over to Mark Williams' new team, GMP. We're off to the start as we head into the chicane. There's always issues here at every race, but they seem to have neatened it up and come through quite cleanly. As I said, the two Karting boys, Wally and Rapava, moving ahead in the front there.
Also, one thing to note is that the Micro Max is now a national championship. Do you think that brings extra pressure to these drivers?
Look, at the age that they are now, between 8 and 12, you think they don't, but I'm pretty sure they're aware that this is now a national event. Casey Angel-Smith there in third place. He's had a bit of a struggle start to the season after breaking his arm in December, but he's come back strong. We got a dice here between 655 here, and can't really see the number there from that far away from the commentary booth. But there's going to be dices all the way through the field as Casey looks now to go down the inside into the last corner onto the main straight, unable to do it as Reza Levy closes up the gap to the front group.
Yeah, Mohammed Wali, it's always strong here at Vereeniging. Rapava at the first national at Idubi, where we had a wet track, dry track, wet track, dry track. He at one race beat him by 23 seconds.
Wally going defensive already early, bringing the pack right into contention here for the lead. And it's causing Casey to fall back, unfortunately, as he was caught off guard by Wally blocking and slowing it down there.
The one good thing about this battle at the front, it's keeping the pack, like in the old Max Torino days, it's keeping the pack top 10 with under a blanket, and I think that's what people like to see. And it also, I think, it brings a lot of the skills that the different drivers bring to the class.
The one thing the South Africans have always struggled with going overseas is not being used to racing in a big pack, but this is definitely a big pack as Troy Snyman gets hungry there behind Casey, heading onto the main straight down towards the chicane. Not much of a passing maneuver, but Wally moving at least 3 times there down the main straight. I wonder if the COC is going to have something to say about that.
I remember the COC looking at it and thinking, okay, better talk to this young chap. And changing the line like that all the time doesn't help him going forward. I mean, it just brings more people to the fore.
All he's doing is bringing more people, more hungry drivers into the pack there, and they're all going to have a go to get into the front. Remember, these kids are all strong. They've all been racing and testing quite a bit. None more than Depaeva. Depaeva's done more laps than anybody else in the circuit. But Reza Levy really showing strong. Coming from Cape Town to a circuit he doesn't do many laps on, but keeping himself up there in the front, in the dice. Troy Sneyman up the inside there. Good move. Saw that mistake there from Rezi and capitalized. But Wally going defensive again.
Defensive, you can only run defensive so many corners, and eventually you're going to pay the price for it.
Hopefully it happens soon, because it looks like a bit of a matzo pudding going on here behind them. As again, Depaeva down the inside and actually made contact there with Wally, who closes the door going into the chicane. Something else has happened there in the background. Looks like Bjorn Bertol came out best of that. As Casey goes up the inside of Reza, unable to do it.
We have Wally every time we come into that corner, going for the inside line, trying to close it down. At what stage do the guys behind him decide, okay, enough of this, and we're going to now try and get past him a different way?
Well, Depaeva's made a mistake there onto the right hand, allowing Troy Sneyman to get through, and I don't think Troy's going to stand for Wally's defensive tactics. He's quite an aggressive little driver, and he can make a move stick when he wants to. We look now behind them as it looks like 655 going on the inside there of, I think that's Reese Curzon going past Casey Enzo into the last right-hander there before we get into the last section of the circuit. It's allowed Wally to get away though. Sneyman obviously making a mistake and allowing Depaeva through, but so much so that he's dropped 2 places, allowing Mohammed to get away. If Mohammed just stops looking behind him, gets his head down, he can maybe capitalize on this gap and turn this into a race win.
As we crossed the start-finish line, I saw a black and white flag for Mohammed. Obviously the COC saw his shenanigans with previous few laps and have told him stop it.
As far as I understand it, you can only move once, and it looked like he was moving a few more times than once there. Again, looking behind him, he's obviously realized he doesn't have the top-end capability of the carts behind him, and 3 carts are always going to be quicker to 1. It is a wise move to block, but I mean, I understand it on the last lap, not lap 4 or 5 where we are now. And again, Wally, defensive into the right hand here. It's only going to slow the pack down.
The thing is, we're going right on defensive before that corner, with a little chicane coming up after that, you do yourself a bit of a disservice coming into the main straight, like he's now under pressure.
And this is allowed Depaeva through, and he's actually forced him so far into the inside, made so much contact that it's allowed Reza Levy through to possibly get his head down and get away. He showed a proper turn of pace all day yesterday, and he looks like he can turn this into a win. Again, Wally going defensive, only focusing on Depaeva, not focusing on anybody else, just focusing on the cart behind instead of the cart in front.
And I'm sure Reza Levy would love Depaeva and Wally to sort of stumble over each other for a couple of laps and allow him to get away at the front.
This is not boxing clever, rather bag the points for the first heat and keep in mind your championship. Blocking like this and running defensive all the time is only going to hurt your championship, only going to hurt your race in the long run. And the way the Vereeniging circuit is at the moment after the resurface, anywhere off the line there's no grip, and again it's just brought the whole pack into this dice again.
And the other thing that we must remember about this being declared a national championship, the next couple of rounds of the national, they're going to run 4 heats on the day, the micro, to catch up what they've missed out for the first round when they were still a challenge event.
You can actually see Mohammed Wally kicking up the dust from the dirty line, throwing it to the carts behind, and again it's created a matzo pudding behind him. 3 carts into 1 never goes, and poor Depaeva is taking the toll for it. As Bjorn Berthold now gets past Depaeva, Depaeva's gone all the way down to 8th or 9th there. It's going to be interesting to watch him fight through, but it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been what this race was about. As Casey now looking hungry to move up, he gets a little bit of a push there from Reese Curzon, causing again a little bit of a chain reaction through the pack and allowing Troy Sneyman to move on.
There was a lot of people prior to the season talking about, you know, it was not a good thing to get rid of Max Torino and, you know, the quality of the drivers. We sit here, we look at this, what's going on the circuit. It is Max Torino just on a different. The guys are doing the same kind of racing. The competition is as tight as ever, and surely the progression must be allowed.
As far as I can see it, the racing is closer, and it's showing good for drivers like Luviwe there from Squadra Corsa, really up in the front of the pack, something I haven't seen him do at many nationals, showing his true colours because this class is so close together. These engines are so close together, and credit to Ed and the guys from Ed Murray Racing for doing the work and trying to get this new class as close together as they could, as quickly as they have. Reese Curzon again looking racy behind Casey Casey really strong this weekend. The last regional wasn't very good for him at the circuit, as Reese, as it looks like down the inside again, decides better of it. Rather wait for the next couple of laps, wait for a better opportunity. But it's given Casey a bit of a breathing room to try and get his head down and get onto Choice Neyman again and try and turn this into a race.
Yeah, Mohammed's tactics in the early part of a race have now broken the pack a bit. Reza has disappeared up the front. He's probably decided I better now start doing decent lines, chase down Reza. But the other guys are, always sitting, squabbling over third place.
It's great to watch Josh Tapava though on a move as Bjorn Bertel goes past a little MK there into the Mercedes-Benz. A good move from Bjorn. Bjorn had a bit of a stay of absence recently after his father's crash in the off-road, but he's coming on strong as Tapava comes onto Casey so quickly through that long left. He's down the inside into the tight left. Easy move for Josh as he goes through the double right here. Maybe he's even going to look at choice name on this lap already.
We all forget, Josh was one of the guys who was lucky enough to be at the first Micromax World Finals in Portugal a few years ago.
And he's done a lot of racing, obviously. He's done a lot of racing in Portugal. Mark's workshop just near mine, and I see the amount of effort and work that this light has been putting in, especially in testing before nationals.
I mean, last year at the World Finals, we had Mohammed Wali there representing South Africa in Micromax, and I think that's the other carrot that's been dangled this year.
And once again, another good move from Joshua, just going a little bit too deep, allowing Choice Neyman to do the cutback. They're going to go into Merck. I'm sure Josh will be looking for another cutback. Not at all. He's keeping his head on strong, knowing he can't get onto the front boys. Let's rather get this move done and get it done properly. Is he going to... Oh, Choice Neyman going defensive into the tight left there. Clever little bit of driving from him, but let's hope he doesn't emulate the tactics of Mohammed Wali in the early parts of the race.
Going defensive, and then pay the price later.
Again, that's two moves down a straight. That isn't allowed. You should only be allowed to move once, but it is the last lap, and it looks like Choice Neyman's going to hold on to his... No, Josh Tapava got past him just before the start-finish line into the last corner there, that right-hander onto the main straight.
Easy win then there for Reza Levy. He got away, and all because Mohammed Wali was playing a bit of a blocking game early on. Josh Tapava recovered well into third. Choice Neyman 4, Curson 5, and Bertolt also great in 7th.
It's a good result for the first race. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it was quite exciting. I didn't expect it, but I told myself I'm going to win, and I did. And a little bit pulled away a bit, and then the couple of few laps I was struggling a bit, but eventually I got to the finish line in time.
Tell me about your race.
My race was quite good. The last few laps, there was a lot of diving and stuff. So inshallah I'll come back second race and I'll win it.
Does this bode good for the next race coming? Are you excited for the next race?
Yes.
Heat 2 now of the Micromax race. Hopefully we don't see the same as before from Wally. I mean, he obviously had a show of pace, putting it on pole for Heat 2. They start due to from their fastest lap as opposed to their finishing position. And you can see he obviously had the pace. Why block as they head into the start now down towards the chicane? It's a bit of a staggered start. Choice Neyman breaking the tram lines quite early there. I wonder if he got reprimanded for that after the race, as MK makes a nice little move on Bjorn through the second part of the chicane. Casey now down the inside of Bjorn, making him invulnerable. But at the front, it's again Mohammed Wali, Reese Curzon, and Joshua Tapava with Choice Neyman trailing just slightly behind after the start. Looking to make this hopefully a better race, as Mohammed Wali says to Reese Curzon, give me a push, let's get out of here, let's get away from the pack before we start playing city buggers, before we start blocking and playing this short game. Let's rather play the long game as we head through the double right. You can actually see the marbles on the edge of the circuit, a lot of grip down this weekend, making the kart run some decent turn of pace, some decent lap times.
Reza Levy is really this weekend show, the Cape Town guys can come up here and fight it out with the Gauteng guys on their home circuit.
The amount of maturity this youngster's shown as he's gone through the ranks. Last year Micromax again showing a great turn of pace and some great mature driving. And again, these the older boys showing the younger guys how to do it. Stay in a train, get away, and then start fighting for the lead. As Louvier there in fifth place, trying his utmost to get onto the pack. But with these four boys in front and these four boys helping each other along, it's going to be difficult.
Last year at the World Finals, Wally started off and really struggled on the first couple of days during the heats. In the final, he ended up for 21st and got a 17th because of penalties. The nose goes penalty obviously playing a big part, and especially in this junior categories, the nose goes penalties, the guys really still not that aware of a nose goes penalties like the more senior guys.
Josh DePava making a strong move there through Talcon Corner on Rees Levy, obviously realizing maybe I should get my head down here and get into the front. I've got the pace to lead this pack, but it's allowed Muhammad Wali a small gap, but if the three of them get their heads down and work together, they can close it quite quickly.
I don't think Troy Snyman wants them to get away, because he knows if he can hang on to that little train, then he can play with him come the latter laps of his race.
If they can all just keep their heads down and get away, they can make this a one. Reza Levy doesn't think so. He wants to get up to second and possibly get into the front and lead this pack. But the more they dice, the more they pass, the more the other group is coming, led by Louvier there and Reese Curzon. They're chasing down this front pack pretty hard.
I mean, we've come so used to, in Max Torino years, of this 8, 9, 10 car battle at the front, and it's great to see that everybody's made the change to Micro Max, and it's great to see that we can have guys running nose to tail lap after lap, because going to the World Finals, I remember last year it was insane that out of 34 guys you can get 28 guys qualifying within 1 second.
I remember my year at the World Finals, there were, I think the top 20 of us were separated by 0.2, and it's something our youngsters need to learn, and they need to learn it young. They need to get into the habit of running in trains like this, working together with not your teammate, your competitor, to stay in the front and stay ahead of the pack. As I think that is Reese Curzon going past Louvier. No, Troy Snyman and Louvier having a bit of a dice there for fourth.
Yeah, also the other thing that one notice when we go to these international finals, and that's also something the youngsters need to learn quick, getting used to the equipment, what the equipment is going to do, and to take guys out of equipment that's not known to them and then go and put them into the World Finals, you just make them look inadequate, slow, they struggle all weekend with setup and all that sort of scenarios, and there's no time for it at those international finals, and the guys you compete against, they race those things 6, 7, 8, 9 times a year.
And it's not exactly a display of the classes we have in this country, but all of our drivers and all of our classes that we are currently running in this country are all raced like this, with the drivers so close together you could put a paper between the nose cones. As Reza Levy now having a look onto the lead, Josh DePava goes with him, relegating Wally down to third place and putting him into the clutches of Troy Snyman. He didn't see that coming. He honestly thought they were going to stay a little bit longer and help him get further away from the pack, as Reza Levy now leads ahead of Joshua DePava and Mohammed Wally.
Wally suddenly has got a total different race to run, because in the previous race he was defend. Now he will have to attack.
I like the way maybe Leroy Poulter had a small word with him after the first heat and gave him a little bit of instruction on how to lead and how to get away from the pack. Blocking doesn't help, it only pushes you closer and closer to those behind you.
Josh DePava sitting there, you can see he is sort of starting to make a plan. The two Gautengers don't want the Cape Town boy to run away at the front like he did in the first heat, because they were squabbling.
Down the inside now goes Josh DePava, as we were talking about. Mohammed Wally tries to go through, gets the move done. Reza Levy very clever there, rather back off, get behind Wally, then try and go around the outside, ramp that curve and end up in the dust, as Wally goes now down the inside of DePava. Here it starts. Now the dice starts for the lead as it brings Troy Snyman back into it. We're heading into a four-way dice as we end up into the closing stages of this race.
And is Leroy's words going to be ringing in Wally's ears as DePava goes in his inside?
Heading into this tight left, it's such a hard move to make. You're not sure if the guy on the outside is going to know you're there, going to see you there, because it's such a tight little corner after a long sweep. Wally down the inside now into Talcon Corner. Does he make it stick? DePava trying to run it on the outside, never a great idea. You're always going to lose time, and it's cost him now as Reza Levy has a look down the inside. Saying it goes on the outside doesn't work, and he makes it happen on the last corner just to prove me wrong.
And Troy Snyman also right there. Reza Levy suddenly had to do a quick little look over his shoulder, knowing that Troy Snyman is there, and the front two is broken a little bit away.
Now blocking now in these late stages of the races, I understand. One movement down to the middle of the track, this is the right way to drive, this is the right way to block. He gets it down the inside. Wally will be looking for the slingshot. He's not going to get it here. He's going to have to wait for the tight left after the sweep.
And Reza Levy is right back in it.
They head down now through the sweep. There's going to be a move here. Does DePava go defensive? Not. Leaves the door open, but it runs right around the outside of Mohammed Wally, giving him just that car length gap as they head into the second to last corner.
Wally is now got to make his plans, and as I say, he's now got pressure from behind, but he wants to get past Joshua at the front.
As always, there's always a move here on this corner, and 9 times out of 10 it does end in tears on the last lap, but it hasn't happened this race. We still have a few laps to go. Mohammed Wali thinking clever, rather not do it there on the right hander. Let me wait till the back straight. I know I'm strong down there and I know I can get the slipstream. There it is down the inside. He gets it done. Joshua Lopava not able to get the drive, and it allows Reza Levy to have a look down the inside into Mercedes-Benz. Is he going to be able to get both of them, or just the one? Just the one now as they head through the Mercedes-Benz into the left-hander now. Again, another passing maneuver coming up again after this long left sweep.
I noticed Mohammed Wali coming down after he made the pass move, just did a little bit fade towards the middle, and now he's going defensive.
Now, Reza will be clever to do a little switch back here into the double right. Mohammed Wali's wise to it, keeps the door closed as they head through the double right into the second to last corner. He's down the inside blocking. Depava's looking around the outside to have a go at Reza. He's gotten a good drive now as they head into the last corner onto the main straight. Is he going to be able to make a move? Just not close enough.
And I think now it's time to...
Troy Snaman with a bump there down the main straight, just getting up next to Joshua Depava. It's not enough to get past them though as they head down towards Mercedes-Benz corner.
And all of that gave Mohammed just one car a bit of breathing space.
Slipstream in these carts is so big, they're just going to pull it all back down the back straight as Reza leave it around the outside from Mohammed Wali covering the inside. Unable to get the drive out though, which is what he was looking for.
These fours, this race, by playing it safer and just racing each other, made sure that the other 6, 7, 8 guys have been dropped.
Wali defensive again. Reza going to be looking into the double right. Again, Mohammed just too wise for him, keeping that door closed, not switching back to his normal line to get the drive out of the double right, but that means he has to be defensive here into Talcon corner. Joshua Depava again, got a good run on Reza Levy. Is he going to be able to stick it down the inside into the last corner? Again, not, but Troy Starman looking very hungry for a third position behind Josh Depava there.
They squabbling have brought the other guys slightly back into it. The lap after lap, they brought about 2-3 tenths back, and the gap could close before the end of the race.
Playing clever though in the beginning and keeping their heads down and pushing each other away has allowed them to race like this. Mohammed moving right to the inside now. Is he going to change direction? No. Joshua Depava round the outside of 3 carts. Never going to work, allowing Troy Snaman to come through into third. He's now going to try go around the outside of Josh Depava, not letting it happen, and it's allowed Luviwe and Reese Curzon to come back into it. It's now a 6-way dice for the win.
As I was saying, we were pulling back 1/10, 1/10, 1/10, and now we have a real train going into these last few laps.
Reza Curzon again trying that little switch back through the double right, but again, Mohammed Wali too clever, going right to the inside as they all move to the dusty side of the circuit. This could end in tears, but it doesn't. Clever driving from all of them. It's turned into a 10-way dice into the last corner.
And I think it's time for checkered flag. And yes, he's going to keep him out half a car length across the line. And Mohammed Wali, I think, played a bit better in this heat than he, compared to the first heat. And Mohammed Wali take it from Reza Levy. Josh Depava get another third. Sambutla in 4th, Curzon 5, KG in 6, and Murat come out in 7th place ahead of Bertolt.
That was a good result for you. Tell me about your race.
The race was very difficult. It was a lot of diving in that. So at the last 2-3 laps I was defending, but otherwise I was taking, if someone passed me I will pass them back and then try from there to get the lead and win.
What's your plans going into the next race? To stay ahead?
Yes, inshallah I'll stay ahead and then win it.
Tell me about your race, boy.
It was fun, it was very hard, it was tough. It's very clean driving. I think I'll do better in the next race. Josh and Mohammed rode very well. Probably gonna fight next time or so.
Tell me about your race, boy.
It was good, and then the end came where we started fighting, and then the group behind us caught us, and then the one guy passed me, and then I passed him back, and then I was quite far behind, so I had to catch up.
And here we head into race 3 of Micromax here at the Laserfische Raceway. Reza Levy on pole ahead of Mohammed Wali, Joshua Depava and Luvile Sombola. In 5th there it looks like Reese Curzon, and 6th MKKG. They head into the start now. Mohammed Wali and Reese Levy keeping it very slow now as they head onto the main straight. Past the 90 meter mark, they start to speed up. Again, a big gap between the front group and the back after the start. A couple left sleeping. Troy Snaman dropped right down behind Bjorn Bertal there, and it looks like 7th or 8th position as they head into turn 1.
And as per usual, the usual suspects at the front. It seems to me these 4 guys have made the race day their own.
Josh DePava deciding he wanted to leave early on, but Reza Levy not having any of it, going past him, allowing Mohammed Wali up into second as they head now through the left-hander, down to the long left sweep and into the tight left. The tallest driver but the youngest, Mohammed Wali there in second, looking hungry behind Reza Levy early on in the race as we have a look at KG there, down in 8th or 9th place there.
If you were any of the other guys who were now constantly out of a top 5, top 6 all day, what do you change to get the cart to the front?
It's difficult with the amounts of different chassis brands in this class and the different teams running. I mean, you must remember there's a mixture of big teams and small teams here in the front. But the grip levels at Vereeniging will be quite high this week, and something we're not used to. So it's all about releasing the grip, getting the cart to come out of the corner and get down the straight as Mohammed Wali goes down the inside here into the right-hander, allowing himself a little bit of room as he gets out. He's so good with that move onto the back straight.
He loves that corner after the chicane, and time after time he makes his move for the lead in that corner.
Rhys Curzon, obviously we're talking about the changes to be made. Rhys Curzon's done it the right way. He's in 4th now and looking very, very good. Looking like he's got a strong turn of pace as they head down into the tight left. Ludwig, I'm so impressed with this youngster. Really putting in the work, really putting in the laps. Every time I'm testing at Vereeniging, he's there with his team Squadra Corsa and the results show.
And I think as the day goes on and these guys running 4 events, fatigue is also going to play a part.
It's something we struggle with our younger and smaller drivers. With the grip levels and with the 4 heats, they do tend to get tired and do tend to struggle, especially towards the end of the events, at the end of the races.
And when you have somebody like Josh DePava who runs Mini-Max as well.
It's unbelievable to see the amount of laps this kid does and how fresh and strong he is. Even in race 4, he's just as good as he was in race 1. Unbelievable fitness on this kid as Reza Levy goes down the inside of Mohammed Wali again. Not following the same route they were doing in the previous heat, going straight out at hammer and tongs from lap 1.
3 abreast.
Joshua DePava getting told not to go around the outside there by Mohammed Wali, but left him enough room to get back on the track as Troy Stamen deep down the inside there into the tight left. Does he make the move stick? Unfortunately not. Luviwe keeps it tight, keeps it around the outside and makes it happen to the double right.
Yeah, Troy Stamen sitting there in 7th place most of the day so far, being in 3rd and 4th place, saying, I don't like it back here, I need to get to the front.
It's so nice though seeing the mixture of carts here. We've got a CRG, a Praga IPK, a Cosmic OTK, just a massive mix of all the manufacturers here right up in front, going hammer and tongs for a win. Again, Mohammed Wali down the inside in his favourite corner. He does it so well, something I've never been able to do. It even so well that it allows Joshua DePava a look into the long right-hand hairpin.
Reza Levy, and there we go.
As I said, Rhys Curzon, after the changes they've made on that kart, find a bit of pace, able to run in the front. Is he going to be a threat to the front two? Is he going to be able to put it on the top step of the podium at this heat?
And they've pulled a bit of a gap, but Troy Stamen leading the rest of the gaggle coming up in 6th, 7th, 8th place. And DePava, can he come back to the front? We've seen him do it over and over right throughout the day.
The one thing we've noticed with this class is jetting is so important. A small movement left or right, lean or rich, and you can cost yourself at least 0.2, 0.3 of a second. And in this class, when they're running so close together, 0.2 and 0.3 is a lifetime.
Reza Levy, I must say, the karting guys must be thinking, where's this kid coming from? We didn't expect the challenge to come from him.
But such a mature drive, having a look to see where the other guys are, head down, pushing Mohammed rather than having a dive down the inside. Again, proving me wrong, getting it done here into the right-hander. But you can see the cheeky little look to see where everybody is before he makes his decision on what to do going forward.
And I think we're going to see this seesaw battle going on for the rest of this race, and there goes Wally on the inside.
He's so good with that block pass move. Reza Levy unable to get wise to it, not getting on the brakes a little bit earlier, giving him a bit more space so he doesn't lose the speed coming out the corner. That block passing is something they learn in Europe. It's a big part of the racing. Reza Levy again back into the front, made his way back. Mohammed Wali having looked on the inside, but there's Joshua DePava that gets the move down onto the last corner, but unfortunately forcing Rhys Curzon back behind Troy Stamen.
And Troy Stamen say, okay, thank you, this is the 4th place, this is where I've been all day, now I can play again.
Back to the same old fighters there in the front, but it looks like there's a bit of a gap between the front two and 3rd place there.
Yeah, Reza Levy have now taken a page out of Mohammed Wali's book and passed him on turn 1.
Learning from the experienced Mohammed Wali on this circuit. No one's done more laps than himself and Joshua DePava around here in this front group.
And I think as the race progresses, now Mohammed Wali is in that position where he can start doing his lines and not have to worry about people chasing from behind.
Bringing up that second group is Casey Inzo-Smith and Mohammed Mourad. Mohammed Mourad obviously making some changes in the right direction, again finding a bit more pace, but just not quite enough to get onto this front punch.
And it seems like they're pulling a bit more of a gap, and it's so once again the top three from the first three races pulling slightly away, and Mohammed Wali takes the lead.
I was talking about Reza Levy not getting wise to the block pass from Mohammed. It looks like he has. He's not losing as much of a gap after each pass from Mohammed, and they're able to run similar lap times to those behind them while still passing and changing lead, changing hands.
It will be interesting to see if now with Mohammed's in the front, if he's going to start doing his defensive lines, or if he's actually going to say, stay on your line. I saw him looking back there, but stay on the line and, take it to the guys.
The one thing that this new nose cone rule has stopped is being able to help a driver off line should he block like that. New nose cone rule, they've obviously got a collapsible nose cone. If it's collapsed at the end of the race, you are penalized by 5 seconds as Mohammed Wali goes defensive out of the right-hander, but loses speed, but too clever for Joshua Paraíba behind him, and it's actually forced Joshua Paraíba to lose a place to Reza Levy.
And as we've been seeing for years and years now, come the last 2 laps, they get some seriously fancy lines coming out for people defending, blocking, trying this, trying that, trying to put the people off their line. And I always chuckle about it and say, where does these lines come from? Because you don't see them for the first 10 laps. Come lap 11 and 12, there's always strange lines.
One thing I have noticed is that they're not following the driver onto the inside line. They're opting to stay wide, but that just opens you to punishment from the driver behind as we head down the main straight now. Reza Levy looking in a very strange place, looking as they go into the chicane. It's not a move that often works, but if it does, you're a champion. As Mohammed Wali heads to the inside again, onto the right hand, onto the back straight, goes defensive straight away, knowing he's lost drive. And again, Reza Levy running wide to go around the outside, but it's just allowed Joshua Paraíba down the inside. The block was too strong from Mohammed Wali there, and it's just allowed the Paraíba through up to second, but he hasn't lost the lead. Reza Levy coming back at the Paraíba there on the left-hander, switch back, move well there as they head now into the tight left. Is there going to be a dive down the inside? Is Mohammed going to leave space? No.
And Troy Snyman, who was dropped slightly, is right back in it, back into 4th.
And once again, a 3-way battle turns into a 5 or 6 card battle with all the blocking and the moving. Reza Levy now following down to the inside, but it's allowed to Paraíba around the outside. That is a very, very, very strong move, and he's made it happen. He's made it stick. He's down the inside of Wally, just too far away to make it happen. Held on to 3rd place as they head down to the main straight. It's a run for 4th, and it looks like Reza Levy has taken 3rd ahead of Troy Snyman and Rhys Curzon in 5th.
Race 3 results. Mohammed Wali again on the top of the podium. Josh Paraíba came back nicely into 2nd place. Reza Levy 3rd. Troy Snyman 4. Rhys Curzon had to settle for 5. Ahead of Murat, Bertolt and Smith.
Another good position. Tell me about your race.
Yeah, my race, this race is a bit tougher than last race. It was hard, very hard to win. But inshallah, next race I'll win it too.
4th and final heat of the Micromax here. The front of the group has been jumbled around a bit as the fastest lap puts you in pole, and that looks like Joshua Paraíba there heading out the field as they head onto the main straight to start this race. They head past the 90-meter mark. Slight acceleration. There hasn't been that much of a drop between the front group and the back group on the start this time as they head now into the chicane. A driver there I haven't seen all day up into 5th or 6th place. It looks like that could be Ken Swartz, finding a bit of pace in the 3rd heat, putting him up the grip for the start of the 4th heat as they head down the back straight. Again, Mohammed Wali moving as early as the first lap, giving Josh Paraíba a bit of a lead. Are they going to be able to claw it back now as they head through the rest of the race?
Reza Levy running around the outside of Mohammed Wali there. He saw Josh Paraíba at the front and he thought, I'm not going to let you get away. And he's bringing, guess what? Mohammed Wali with him.
Ken Swartz, they're looking a bit racy with Troy Snyman behind them. Is it going to end off well for Kent as he gave him quite a bit of a rough round the outside move on Troy Snyman?
Rhys Curzon also right up there in the top 4. All of them would love to get to the front. They've seen Mohammed Wali and Reza Levy and the Paraíba dominate all day. And
As we head down. Oh, Reza Levy again looking into the chicane. It's not a move that works often, but maybe he just feels he's got the straight line to get a wheel in there. Maybe Joshua will back off, give him a bit of a room, get through there, but I highly doubt it on a corner like that as they head down the back straight. They've managed to claw back the lead Joshua Paiva have, and they're down the inside now into the Mercedes-Benz corner. Muhammad Wali goes through. A little bit of a block pass there on Josh Tapava, losing them both time, unfortunately, but the way, like I said, the slipstream on these carts is phenomenal. It'll all climb back onto each other by the time they get into this left-hander.
Coming into the main straight after lap 1, Josh Tapaiva had a comfortable gap and suddenly he's in third.
Slipstream on these carts is, like I said, unbelievable. 3 carts behind you can quickly catch you. Seems like we've lost Ken Swart there. Luke Hill, someone we haven't seen all day, running there in 15th or 16th place.
And it's so nice to see a full field of carts. Last year we had 11 or 12 of these little Micromaxes. Now we're running 20 of them on the circuit.
I can only see it getting stronger. It's the racing is so close. Muhammad Wali thinking about a move in his favourite corner, but thinks better of it as they head down the back straight. He's looking here down the inside, or is he blocking Depaiva? I'm not sure anymore. They head down into Merck. It's a loud reach goes and through on Depaiva. The blocking from Wali again, causing the detriment of another driver. It's almost apparent to me like he's just trying to help Josh Tapaiva further back down the field.
The front 4 have now got a comfortable lead early in the race over the rest of the field. And we've seen it all day. On occasion, when they started playing silly buggers and making all sorts of moves, it brought other guys back into it. But they've now got a very, very, very good gap.
I find Troy Sneyman a bit far off this front group. He maybe had a bit of a argy-bargy in the beginning with a couple of drivers. He did get hooked up behind Ken Swartz in the beginning. So it's allowed him to drop off this front pack, and I don't see him getting back onto it with the turn of pace that they have in front here.
And once you've been dropped like by a pack like this, and I can see Stroy there in 5th place all by himself. He's got nobody to tow, nobody to help him. So he's going to have, unless they start doing their normal strange lines and stuff, he's going to be sitting like very high and dry in 5th place.
The change for the lead now is Muhammad Wali goes past Reza Levy there, asking him, give me a push, but let's get away from these two. I highly doubt that's going to happen, Muhammad. Not after your blocking maneuvers in the first, second and third heats. I don't think anybody in that group behind you is there to help you anymore.
Reese Cousin looking very dangerous there in 3rd place, but he's got Depaiva behind him, and that's a worry.
It's Depaiva always showing a strong turn of pace. He must be absolutely finished though now. 4 heats in this class, 3 in Minimax. He must be broken.
Yeah, and I think, people don't understand it's very physical in a kart. There's no suspension, there's no power steering, it is very physical.
All the drivers very clever there to see the yellow flag, not make a move that they were thinking about as they moved that stricken kart out the way. Not sure who that was, didn't quite get a good look at the numbers. They hit through Mercedes-Benz corner into the left-hander thereafter. It's now a long, flat-out sweep, left-hander, hard on the ribs, hard on the body as we have a look at the battle between Casey Enzel Smith, Bjorn Berthold and Mohamed Morad. Luviwe just behind that with Ken Swatch just on the back tail of that group.
Yeah, and Sneyman sitting just in front of him, all in no man's land. Maybe he must wait for them to hook up with him, and maybe they can get to the front. But I think that pace at the front is of such speed and such pace that it's maybe too late.
Bjorn Berthold making a strong move on Casey there down the inside. Casey trying to go around the outside and has lost him 2 places in the process. He's now dropped right down behind Mohamed Morat and Ken Swartz there as they head onto the back straight. It looks like a good dice forming here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carts all in the runnings for the second group. Mohamed Morat on the inside of Kent. Can't get it done. Kent just too late on the brakes.
And I mean, that's the thing that's always been with this class, even in its Max Torino years, that you had battles all the way through the field, not just amongst the top 4 or 5, but battles all the way right down to the back 18, 19, 20th place.
Kent getting it down the inside there of, it looked to me like Bjorn Berthold. He made the move stick. He goes slightly defensive as going to the right hand and moving twice. I'm not quite sure what happened there as they head now. 2 laps to go. Let's watch the front group.
And yeah, Muhammad Wali on his favourite line down the inside, and Depaiva's gone with him this time.
Yeah, this time it actually worked in Depaiva's favour instead of allowing that behind him to get past him. They head through the long sweep, and again, you're going to see Muhammad go to the inside here. Deep on the brakes, Depaiva tries to go around the outside, but it's just not going to work out for him. That corner just too tight, and it narrows up quite quickly. Reza Levy doing the cutback that I saw him try on Mohamed Wali in the first couple of heats, but getting it right on Depaiva again. Mohamed Wali goes deep onto the inside.
and Reese Cousin is saying, I better hang in here with these guys because I want to step on that podium. I want to go to the top 3 and not be 4th, 5th, or any of those lesser places.
This is going to be, these front 4 are probably going to be dicing for the championship throughout this season, with Reese Cousin just behind them as well. I definitely see Cape Town going to be an interesting event for Mohammed Wali and Joshua Depava at Reza Levy and Reese Cousin's home event.
Final lap, and now
3
it's
abreast, 4 abreast, down into the last corner. Mohammed Wali actually pushing Depava off the track, but it allowed Depava to put a proper strong move down the inside of Reza Levy. That was some very, very clever driving from all 3 of them, all 4 of them to stay on the track after that.
And Troy Sneyman suddenly is 3-4 car lengths behind them.
Back in the fight now as we're on the last lap into the tight left. Josh Depava using the tactics of Mohammed Wali to stay in the lead here. He's left the door open to the long right. It's going to allow Mohammed Wali the drive down into the tight right Talcon corner. Josh Depava looking to try and slingshot around the outside, but it's allowed Reza Levy. They make contact, dropping them both down and giving Troy Sneyman on 3rd place. Just the right place at the right time as they head onto the main straight for the final time.
Final time, 3rd time on the day for Mohammed Wali, taking his 3rd win out of 4 races. Reza Levy managing to hold on to that 2nd place, which will give him a 2nd overall for the day. Troy Sneyman sneaking into 3rd, and Josh Depava finishing 4th ahead of Reese Cousin.
Great last race. Tell me about it, boy.
Yeah, the last few laps were dicing properly. It was very hard, but the last lap Joshua overtook me, and then I tried my best, and then God helped me to overtake him, and so then I won.
It was tough. It was exciting. I pushed hard. I was fighting for the 1st place, and I was having fun. In the last lap, I was struggling a bit with Josh. Yeah.
Well, I was busy coming 4th or 5th, I can't really remember. And then last corner, or 2nd to last, the Tulkin, Josh and Reese Cousin had a little bit of like a bump, and then I managed to get past them and then finish 3rd.
And are you looking forward to the next race?
Yeah, and I think I'm positioned 2nd in the championship or something.